I'm Scott Miller. It is the 10th of February, 2023. This is my vlog of daily life in León, Nicaragua, and we're doing a little bit of a different format today because we have to, and we're going to explain why right after the bump. All right, welcome back to the show, and glad you're all here. Thanks for joining me. Grab your cup of coffee. It's so great to have you here for Coffee in the Morning with Scott. Now, of course, I'm recording this at night. You can see how dark it is outside. It's actually midnight, and I'm struggling to get the episodes done, not because we're behind, but because we actually have some exciting stuff going on. So, what's happening, I'm recording this a bit ahead. On the night that I'm recording this, in about 10 hours, I'm getting on a bus with a number of people that we will be filming to head to the island of Ometepe, which some of the viewers have requested that I film, and I've been wanting to film anyway, and things just came together that for Valentine's Day we are able to head out there and stay for several days. So I'm actually recording this on Monday night. We just had dinner with the crew that's heading out, and we're gonna go on the bus in the morning, going to spend Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then on Ometepe, Friday morning, our plan is to return to Managua. We got some Managua stuff we need to do and be back here on Friday night. And we have an event to attend, nothing to film, out on the beach on Saturday. So really busy week with stuff that isn't normal work. Now, I don't know how I'm gonna get away from work for all that time. So that has yet to be figured out, and that's gonna be super complex. So that is part of my challenges this week. On today's show, I just have a couple real quick updates. One is, yesterday with all the filming that I did, 36 hours is how long it took to upload all of this stuff. That's nuts. Also, my foot is feeling fantastic. I did those really long walks. I did that long walk, that short walk, then that really long walk, and that whole volcano climbing thing on Cerro de Oro, and the long walk I did with Liesel that day. Those come together, and my foot is feeling great today. It was rough yesterday. Today it's feeling really, really good. So I'm looking forward to hopefully being able to do some longer walks and test some stuff out, and the trip to Ometepe is hopefully going to be very good. So that is the events of the week, and that's why I'm filming, because they're doing the thing to Ometepe. If you didn't figure that out, that means I have to have every episode that's going to be done during that time already finished and uploaded tonight. This is the one I'm missing. Everything else is already uploaded, including tomorrow's episode, so I already know what's going to happen. I do these a week ahead. I already know what's going to happen, right? But this is the 10th. I've already recorded the 11th. So once this one is done, I have that buffer, and that should get me through to Saturday. I am bringing my MacBook with me. I am bringing the GoPros with me. I'm certainly planning on filming like crazy on Ometepe. So this is not you're not going to get any footage while I'm there. No, absolutely. You're going to get tons of stuff. Knock on wood, right? It's going to be fantastic. I'm really excited about all the filming we're going to do for you. It's just that there isn't time for me to get anything that I already have filmed uploaded if we don't do it now. Like, I just got to get it all done now. So that's why we're doing this. So today we have one topic. I'm going to do this and keep this a pretty short one. But if for me anyway, by my standards, for you guys, there has been a number of requests. A lot of everyone wants to see restaurants and cost and all that stuff here for restaurants in Nicaragua. So that's what we're doing tonight. I actually filmed tonight in the future. I filmed this on Monday, like I said. So it was actually Monday night we went out to dinner, but we're gonna do it tonight because I had no events tonight, nothing to mention. So this is perfect. So on Monday, the 13th, so just a couple days, we go to Barbaro. Now this is a big restaurant downtown, right in the main, just off the main square, right by some of the big parks. All kinds of big restaurants and clubs are right there. Gaquitos is across the street. The Rum and Tobacco Bar is across the street. It's in the middle of a really big district, right? Mihunas is right down from there. So the Snake Bar, the theater district, the club district. This is the heart of activity. Barbaro is actually a restaurant that moved. The original location burned down. If you see the corner shots, there's a place that's all metal behind something. You're like, wow, that looks awful. That's the old Barbaro that burned down just a block away. And Barbaro is well known for being one of the best steakhouses in town. One of the few places you can get salmon and other kinds of seafood, like really high-end seafood in town. It's a really big venue, and so it can seat hundreds. It's big for sporting events. They always have a lot of, not live music. I don't think I've ever seen a band there, but they do a lot of really loud, just club music, which is weird because it's not a club. There's really no dancing. You can kind of maybe, but it's not that kind of place. It's like a fancy restaurant, but this is Nicaragua, and loud DJ'd music is something you would do at a club. It's a little bit, or I'm sorry, at a restaurant, it's a little bit weird. That's something that it takes a lot for Americans to get used to. Americans are used to, if it's fancy, it's gonna be quiet and really low key. And here in Nicaragua, normally, not always, but normally, if it's gonna be fancy, it's still going to be really loud music, just in a nicer atmosphere. So don't be surprised by that. There are exceptions. You know, the Gastropark Jean-Paul-Genis in Managua, we go there and it's nice and quiet, right? There's lots of places you can go where it is quiet, mostly though in Managua. As you are out in León, León is a loud town. Every place, no matter how fancy, gets really loud. I don't know any place that's actually that quiet. Maybe Jalisco, way up in Fatima. So just be aware, a lot of Nicaragua has this like loud scene, and the quiet ones are definitely the exception, not the rule. You should never be surprised that there's loud music. Barbaro though is exceptionally loud. We all refer to how loud it is. We use it as a scale, like is it Barbaro loud? If you're going to eat early like we did, you're fine. If you're gonna be there late, like 9 o'clock, literally bring earplugs. I mean that. Like, it'll be fine. Put in earplugs. No one's going to think less of you, and you will enjoy your dinner. I've done this myself. Like, I will, and it's fantastic. You put it in, you're like, huh, everything sounds great. The music's not distorted. They just like it loud. You will enjoy yourself much more. Just accept the fact that you probably don't like it that loud, and own it, take care of it, and make it not a thing. So I wanted to show what the restaurant is like, what the costs are like, because that's some of the things that you guys were asking is what is it going to cost? And this is an extremely, I don't know what kind of bug that is. That is big. It's drawn to, I have the giant light on me. So there's this huge thing flying around because of the light. Great, because this is I'm just outside, right? There's no screens or anything. So it's like a big, it's not something to worry about, right? It's just like I think it's one of the beetles that goes in the flowers and the trees. And so this is one of the most expensive restaurants in town, like absolutely top end restaurant. So what you're gonna see here is much fancier, much pricier than really anywhere else. I don't know any place that actually quite hits these prices. So don't be shocked when you see them and be like, whoa, this is crazy. It is expensive, right? But I wanted to show you, it's a place we wanted to go. We go there a lot because they have salmon, because we're vegetarian, ovo-lacto-pescatarians, and it gives us a lot more options because getting salmon is pretty hard in León. In Managua, it's pretty easy because we have to bring it in from Managua. And so this gives you kind of that, what's my reasonable maximum? And please note that we're eating filet mignon. We're eating a lot of salmon. This is 6 people having dinner. This is 3 glasses of wine. There's soda in there. And something that's really important to mention, when you see the bill, there is a small $1 charge at the end. And yes, the bill is in US dollars. Some of the most expensive places do list in US dollars. There's also Nicaraguan Cordobas listed on the bill, but it's at the bottom, and you just have to look for it and be aware that that's how it works, right? You got to just pay attention. Watch my video on currencies that just came out. That'll explain some of that. And so when you see it, notice that there's a small $1 charge. That is a packing charge. It is very, very common here to keep prices down. So in the United States, the cost of packaging for to-go containers or part of Llevar is trivial. No one even notice it. The meal could be $200–300, and the cost of packaging maybe pennies, and you're like, whatever, no one cares. Here, most things are so inexpensive that the cost of packaging can be really significant in the cost of the meal. And so people would be unable, or it would be a problem if you were constantly paying for that in the cost of a meal. So when you're getting something to go and they have to provide packaging, it is standard for there to be a small charge for that. It's not normally too bad, right? You don't have to worry about like, oh no, it costs so much because they're packing it, but it is a charge. It's often around $1. And we first learned this when we lived out on the beach. We would get pizzas. Every time they'd be like, if you bring your own box, there's no packing charge. But if we have to give you a box, it's $1. And it's one to, you know, cover the cost of doing that because they have to buy those boxes. But also it's higher than the cost of those things because they don't want you to do it. It's to discourage the generation of waste. And so if you're going to do things, bring your own containers and you don't have to pay for that. Now, of course, some places like this, you're not going to bring your own container under normal circumstances. Like you just pay for it. And the reason we have that on there is because we had 5 meals there, but one of the meals was for my daughter who wasn't with us. That was to go. So we got it there. So that explains why the bill is as high as it was. So with that, let's go over to the restaurant. All right, we are at Barbaro. It's pretty dark because meals are in the nighttime and it's difficult to get enough light when doing these things for restaurants. But this is our first time out at a restaurant and I wanted to just show a little bit of what we're having. This is one of the fancier restaurants here in León and one of the few places you can get salmon and absolutely gorgeous location. I got some shots with the other camera as well, but wanted to show a little bit of this. This is one of the places we like to come out. So this is a regular for us. Especially because it's one of the places where we're able to get salmon, but it is one of the more expensive restaurants in town. So we're going to show the bill when we're done so you have an idea of what this is going to cost. This is excellent food, really good, consistent quality, and one of the more popular places in town, often with very loud music. So we like to come early when it's less quiet. And now this is Monday, so this is empty. This is not normal at all. If you're coming on a normal night, it's going to be packed and very, very loud. So just anticipate that. But for those of you who are looking for a place to eat in León, this is a great example of what higher end dining is going to be like. All right, it's actually 6 people having dinner because we're bringing salmon to my daughter. So this is a rather expensive dinner because we did have alcohol and we had 6 full meals and we tend to go for price premium options when we're here because it's a place with salmon and with steak. So some of the best steaks in town. So it's going to be a price premium. That's sort of an expectation, but altogether for 6 people, that came out to about $99. That's US, of course. So you can see on the receipt what it is in Cordoba. This is one of those dual Cordoba and US dollars receipts, like I had mentioned on my show recently, on a recent episode. And so this is definitely one of the more expensive places. You may say, wow, that's, you know, if you're used to US prices, that's a really good deal. But if you're used to Nicaraguan prices, that's extremely expensive. So it's all perspective and context. But that's what it's like going out. One of the most fancy restaurants in León. We did not have dessert. That is worth noting. That would have added probably another $20, $25. But a lot of times dessert is not something you do here so much. It's not really part of the culture. It's really about the main meal and the drinks. All right, I hope you enjoyed getting to see Barbaro. This is a really good restaurant. We like the service, we like the food, we like that they have things in stock most of the time. They really do try to do a good job. They put in an effort and actually care. So if you're going to be in León and you're looking for a good place, this is a good option. They also have a pretty broad menu. That's important. A lot of places are good but have pretty small menus. You don't get a lot of options or selections, so you may only want to go one time, or if you have a group of people, it can be difficult. Barbaro is one of those places where we're able to consistently go and everyone's able to find something to eat, whether it's steak or something obscure or pasta or salmon or other kinds of fish. There's multiple kinds of fish. We have lots of things. So it really is a great selection. I also like their sangria a lot. They were out of it tonight, so that's once in a while. But I go there all the time. They normally have it. So they're not one of those places that list things that they don't really have. They did have a couple items like that. They were off the menu this time that we went. So they have taken that to heart and made some modifications for things that they're no longer carrying. But it was a nice night, and I hope that it was informational for you and valuable. And yeah, it's pretty expensive, but 6 people, really do the math, $99. That's round about $15 per person after all that. There 3 salmons, 1 filet mignon. Those were big ticket items to offset those. The other 2 were pretty cheap. And with the wine and the packing charge and a few things, that really was at $15 per person for a fancy meal at a high-end restaurant with some of the most expensive things on their menu. Really not bad at all. If you are going to be a bit more frugal, we go there for the salmon and the filet mignon. Like, we make a point of it. So we know when we're going out, we're going to spend a lot because we're paying a 50% premium over normal menu items. And that's fine for us because we know that's why we're going. But if you're going and you're not eating those specific items, you easily are going to be looking at menu main entree listings of like $9 to $10, not at $14 to $15. So just be aware that it may not be as expensive as you see there, but it's a great point of comparison that you can use to have a feel for like what a reasonable, really nice, expensive night out is going to be like. And when we say it was $99, that is after tip. I forgot to mention that. Propina is tip. It is voluntary. It is typically 10%. Our actual bill was $89. Okay, we're assuming a $10 tip because you do 10%. So we're saying $98, $99 is what this bill was. Realistically, we probably gave them $100, but that's after the tip because it was good service. So $89 was the actual hard cost for 6 people at a fancy place with expensive wine and all that. Thanks for joining me. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you'd like to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/ScottAllenMiller. That money goes directly to helping with things like being able to go to restaurants and film this stuff to get this kind of content for you. So if these are the kinds of things you want to see, the more that you are able to donate for those who are able to, that really helps make that possible. We do have a lot of expenses bringing this content to you. So I really appreciate it when that comes, and some of you have been really coming through with a lot of support. Thank you so much for that. And for those who don't want to do that or are unable to, but you do want to support the channel in other ways, please remember, all you have to do, watch extra episodes, make sure to hit that like button, share it with your friends, get on social media, post it places. Those things grow the channel. They bring in new people. The more people who watch, the longer they watch, the more they hit the like button, the more they interact and leave comments and all that, the more YouTube promotes the channel, and the more that YouTube compensates us for the channel. All those things help. I know we say them a lot and it's like, yeah, just like, subscribe, whatever. People say that. That's what actually makes the channel grow and what drives the revenue. Short of the Buy Me a Coffee, that's where the real money comes from. But short of that, everything that you interact with on the site makes all the difference. Thank you so much. Tomorrow's show, I think, is going to be really good. We're doing something extremely interesting, so please subscribe and watch tomorrow's show. And we're going to be going to Ometepe in just a few days. And I don't know what that's going to be like yet. I literally have not filmed it yet, but I think it's going to be really interesting. So I look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow.